Okay, it's been a few days since we got off the MSC Meraviglia, and quite honestly, I think we needed a little bit of a break.
I think a few days of a decompress, absolutely.
Yeah, there was a little bit of craziness, and we did a separate whole video on that. That video is up here. Bottom line is that ship happened to be a takeover cruise, which means it was chartered by 90% Chinese passengers.
Yeah, large Chinese travel agency booked it.
Right.
So yeah, 90% of the passengers are Chinese.
So it was crazy and chaotic, and that's why we did a separate video. This video is actually our Cruiser's Compass 7-point review of the MSC Meraviglia.
Wonderful ship.
Absolutely.
Beautiful ship.
Yep, we loved it. So what we do is we go through 7 categories that we think will help you decide if this is the cruise ship you want to try. And our first category that we talk about always is the food. The food.
The food.
we start with the food. The ship is the second.
Yes, yes.
The food. Now, I'm just going to go straight up there and say I love the food on MSC.
And here's what I will say too. This is our 4th MSC cruise.
Yeah.
And we've had good food experience. We've had great food experience on all 4 MSC cruises,
right.
This one included.
Right.
Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the dining room?
Let's start with the dining room.
All right.
Okay, so, and that is something that I do want to say. So the dining room, let's first talk about the food, and then I want to talk about the process, and it's a little bit windy out here. The food is very, very good. We
Absolutely.
have been on, like you said, 4 different cruise lines. We have all those reviews on our channel. Go look at them. And I put this at or near the top.
I do too. I do too. When you look at the selections that are available to you, they're different every single night. There's you never get bored with the different options. There's always 6 or 7 entrees available. There's many appetizers available. The desserts, they usually have 3 desserts, and they're all have a wide variety to them. So it is very good. The service in the main dining room is very good. They're very efficient. We typically like to get seated. We like to eat. We like to enjoy it, but we don't want to have a 2-hour dinner. And so we're usually out of there in about an hour.
They do a great job with that. But let me get back to the food for a minute, because this is worth pointing out. So on formal night, fancy night, whatever you want to call it night, they had lobster and shrimp was one of their main entrees. It was absolutely delicious. I also got the stuffed portobello mushroom. And the reason I bring that up is because we had just gotten off the Celebrity Beyond, and we had very, very similar dishes, and I am telling you, these were better. They were better than the Celebrity Beyond.
Yeah.
And watch our video. We love the Celebrity Beyond, but I just have to be honest. I mean, the food was really good.
Was certainly as good as any food that we've had on any ship. I shouldn't say it's good. Better than most. That's a better way. That's a better way of saying it. I think you also like soups. You like to make sure the soups that they're hot.
Yes.
That they're at the right temperature for whatever soup it is that you're having, and I think you had a good experience there.
They do great soups. Now, main dining, I want to tell you a little bit about their process, because it is different than other cruise ships. MSC, by the way, is an Italian-owned, privately owned cruise line. So they do things a little bit differently. One of those things is dining. It's a little bit more old school. It's a little bit more, they have their 2 assigned seatings. You have early or late seating and an assigned table. And to my knowledge, I've never been able to pick a table ahead of time. Maybe there's a way to do that. And if you know a way to do that, put it in the comments below. But so far we haven't been able to do that. So if you don't like your dining time or your table, then before all of the dining starts, you actually need to go talk to the host and try to get it changed. And I will say on night number 1, that is a little chaotic.
Yes.
It is not the best experience.
But every night afterwards, we were able to get, after everybody was seated, they determined which tables were still open, and they got us into a table for 2 every night. Great table.
Right.
Service, they did a fantastic job of accommodating us and taking care of what we were hoping for.
Yes. So main dining room, we think is very, very solid. Like we said.
Let's go to the buffet.
Better than most. Yeah. So now let's go to the buffet.
Let's start with breakfast. I know you like your health breakfasts.
Yes.
Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah. And for me, eating healthy is super important. And MSC ships make it far easier than other ships. they always have this huge section of breakfast health bowls. And I love them. And they change them up every day, but it's everything from, it's usually like kale and quinoa with a half of a hard-boiled egg. It just, okay, I know it's not your thing.
Yogurts, and and if you want stuff that tastes good, then they have everything else. They have the eggs the way you want to make them, the way you want them made.
Right.
Great pastries, as you would imagine on an Italian ship. So the breakfast buffet is exceptionally solid. The lunch buffet, equally solid. They always have the carver out there with different meats like that.
They do.
So it's just a very, very solid, I would say, above average food experience for the buffets in the breakfast and for lunch. We did not do the buffet for dinner.
Yes, and back to the lunch buffet quickly, because also super important to me is the salad bar. They have a tremendous salad bar. It does change a little bit every day. They have multiple kinds of lettuce. I can get artichoke hearts, all kinds of olives, dressings. And I use olive oil and vinegar, and they do have that available as well. I love it, love it.
And two things that are important to me. Number one, I think their hamburgers are second only to Carnival's
Guy
Fieri's burgers. But these are very good burgers.
Yeah.
Their pizza, it's an Italian company again, and their pizza that they serve is exceptional pizza. Now, I don't eat a lot of pizza. In fact, rarely on cruises do I eat pizza. I eat pizza on this cruise because it is exceptional pizza.
It is exceptional, and people do fill their plates with their pizzas.
Yep. Let's talk about the one specialty dining experience that we had.
Yeah, so the specialty dining, we did one specialty dining restaurant, and it was their steakhouse. And we have been on the steakhouse on most other cruise ships.
They also have other specialty restaurants. So they have teppanyaki, they have sushi, they have Mexican, which I think is called ola.
But let's get to the steakhouse.
But the steakhouse was, you had the filet, I had the sea bass.
I know. Something
bass
was weird and twisted about that. I had the steak, he had the fish.
There's a story behind that. We're not going to tell you.
I'm not sure what happened there. But anyway, again, this sounds like a weird comparison, and I don't mean for it to be. My filet was absolutely delicious, and I had just had one on Celebrity Beyond.
Royal Caribbean.
Oh, I'm sorry. On Royal Caribbean's Freedom of the Seas at Chops. This one was better.
Yeah.
It was better.
The sea bass I had was as good as any sea bass. It was prepared perfectly.
It was beautiful.
Perfectly.
It was beautiful.
And it was as good as any I've ever had at any restaurant across the country that I've ever had.
So we've probably talked up the food
enough.
But anyway, that's just our honest opinion. Yeah. So let's get on to what Paul thought we were starting with, the ship.
Yeah.
Gorgeous ship.
Gorgeous ship.
Yeah.
So the Meraviglia, we were very excited to go on this ship because a lot of people that cruise MSC a lot really highly recommend this ship. Now it went out of New York, which is, I think it's only going to go out of New York for a little bit longer, and then it's going to move down to Florida. But it was a beautiful, beautiful ship. Many great features with it. Their central promenade area with it's got a video screen of a roof, a lot like you would see at Caesar's Palace.
Yeah, and the ceiling along that entire promenade walkway.
It's a concaved digital screen.
It's incredible.
That is probably 100 yards long at least, and they have all kinds of different digital scenery that's going across depending on what type of day it is, what type of night it is. It's absolutely a wonderful promenade, the shops, the restaurants, great place to walk through the interior length of the ship.
And they have all kinds of very different and interesting things. Okay, the Jean-Philippe Chocolatier, I think that's what it's called. Absolutely beautiful. They're hand-making chocolates, and it is a whole scene all by itself. It is fabulous.
And the sports bar is fantastic. A great place to, it was large enough to accommodate a lot of people, a lot of TVs, no real big screen, but a lot of TVs.
Okay, I have to jump in. Yes, it was large enough to accommodate a lot of people.
All five that went there this time.
Yeah, we were on a boat with 90% Chinese, and even though it was Sunday night and Monday night football, like 5 people.
Yeah, 5 people.
Yeah, so that was
kind of good in some ways.
Quiet. Yeah,
but yeah, sports bar was nice. They had a couple other venues, bar venues that were fantastic.
They have a big karaoke venue. We did not go there, but they do have a big karaoke venue.
Their theater that's in the front of the boat, a very, very nice theater. It's got digital screen behind it, so
and
they
we'll get to entertainment.
We'll get that. We'll get to the entertainment part, but the theater is very, very, very nice. Has some very modern capabilities to it, which is also very nice.
Right now. Other parts of the ship that we enjoyed, of course, the pools, right? And they have 3 main pools. We spent most of the time in the indoor pool. I think that's called the bamboo pool.
That's
it is
where you
definitely
find
the
most of
bamboo bar.
Yeah, and that's where you find most of the shade. So if you're looking for shade, that's the area where and that's what we look for. So that's why we spend time in the indoor pool.
Yeah, and it's very, very nice. Lots of room, lots of space there. But they do have an adults only section on the back of the ship. And I do apologize. I took video of it, but it turns out my camera was on photo. So I have like one photo and I thought I took video. But it is beautiful. It's like 3 stories. They have the pool is on the bottom deck, and then you walk up to the next floor to get into the bar, and it's very, very nice.
Yep. Also, another feature that I thought was really nice on the boat is they have an indoor sports court as well. So if you're wanting to play, if you like to do the sports, if you like to do the volleyball or pickleball, those types of things, it is completely protected indoor.
Right, and that was really nice.
That was very nice.
And there's one other venue of the ship. It's not really on the ship, but we really want to talk about, and that is MSC's private island called Ocean Cay. We love it.
Yeah, we like Ocean Cay a lot. We've been there now each time on our MSC cruises, so I think most of their cruises do stop at Ocean Cay. This one did. It's an island that they are redeveloping, trying to bring it more back to its natural state from what it was. And they've done an absolutely great job. So there's plenty of beach space. You can walk on it for miles, which we typically do every time. There's lots of chair and umbrella space. There's lots of, you can swim in the open ocean. You can swim in protected lagoons. There's a lot to do, and then obviously you can get lunch. They've got a nice lighthouse in a bar there where they do evening events. Sometimes they even stay overnight at Ocean Cay, which I don't think the other lines do on their private islands. So depending on the type of cruise that you would pick, they do a lot with that venue.
Yes, and I highly recommend, if you're looking at MSC, pick an itinerary that has it on its itinerary. It is a beautiful, lovely island. What I like about it, it's not overdone. It doesn't feel like you're going to Disneyland. They've really done a good job, and they've tried very hard to keep it very natural. And they've got, you know, bars that are sort of like tiki huts, and they have little food truck things along the side, but they do have a main dining in the middle. I think they've done just a wonderful, wonderful job keeping it natural, but very, very beautiful.
Yeah, and if you do find a venue that does an overnight at Ocean Cay, don't let that stop you from doing that. That's a positive experience in our experience.
And they do, we've not been to it, but they do a very big light laser show at night if they're going to stay there overnight. So highly recommend doing that as well.
Casino's open while they're there too.
The casino is open while they're at Ocean Cay the whole time, day and night and everything. Yeah, so speaking of that does bridge us into the entertainment, which is our next category. As you all know by now, Paul goes to most of the big shows, so you go ahead and start with that.
They're awesome. I like MSC now. Their shows are a little bit different than what you'll see on like Royal Caribbean or Carnival. They're a little bit shorter, so they're 35 minutes. But man, were they good. They had more shows. So I got to see their dance troupe and their vocal troupe. I think they did 4 shows on this one, which is more than they typically do on the other cruise lines, and they're all very good. This, as far as like the choreography, the modernness of the show, they did an absolutely fantastic job. Highly entertaining. I enjoyed the shows. They had a hypnotist. They had a
the hypnotist. Paul actually went on stage to try to get hypnotized. It did not work.
I was the first one.
He was the first one to get kicked off the stage. What did he say? You're a little.
He said if you're a little uptight, it might not work. And I was the first one off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You notice I didn't even try. Just saying. Anyway, back to the shows. You love them.
Shows were awesome.
Yeah.
Shows are a positive feature.
Right.
I went every night to whatever entertainment they had in the main theater and was thoroughly entertained.
And then, the other part of the entertainment is the casino. I do think MSC does the best job of making their casino members feel very welcome and very loved. They do like it. Now, this ship was a little bit interesting because, again, it really was 90% Chinese passengers. So the baccarat, I don't even know how to say it, baccarat table was packed. There wasn't a soul at the craps table. And I did spend a little bit of time at the blackjack table, and they actually had somebody come in and deal blackjack in Chinese. So It was kind of an interesting experiment for me.
And there were a lot of cash games going on around the boat the whole time, too.
Yeah, the passengers also had their own cash games, which was kind of interesting. But the casino is very nice, and they have lots and lots of slot machines.
Yeah, and then around the rest of the ship, they constantly had small band, whether DJ, piano music.
Quite a few DJs.
Bands going on. And then they had something going on every night, some theme of entertainment going on every single night, a different theme in the promenade area as well, or up on the pool deck.
All right, so another category that we absolutely think is important is the spa and the gym. Let's start with the gym. Why don't you go with that?
I would say the gym was adequate. So it's a nice gym. It had modern equipment. I think it's a relatively newer boat. It's not old. So all the gym equipment was functional. It worked. They had all the free weights that you would want. So they had enough on the indoor gym, which is where I spend my time in the gym every day. It was completely adequate. It wasn't below average. It wasn't above average. It definitely got the job done. It was nice. It was midship, which was interesting. So you looked while you were exercising and I was doing my thing. I was looking over the pool deck, which was entertaining. So that was different.
On this with these passengers.
So that's what I'd say about the gym itself.
Right, and then speaking of that, so he spends more of the time in the indoor gym. I like to find the outdoor track. Many other MSC ships we've been on don't have one, but this ship did. I was just so happy about that. I will say it was a little bit crowded with just people in groups looking around with cameras and photos, and they didn't really understand this was an actual running track. Having said that, I was able to get really good runs in, so it worked out great anyway, but that was beautiful. And then after the gym, we always talk about the spa.
The spa.
Okay, knock it out of the park, good spa.
Of the 4 cruises that we went on,
by far,
this was by far the best spa of all of them.
Well, I would say it's the best spa of any.
2 of the cruises didn't have any spa.
I would say it's the best spa
that we've been in.
Any cruise we've ever been on.
Yeah, now we're talking about the thermal spa specifically.
Right. Yes, the thermal spa area. So that's where they've got, a lot of cruise ships, they do your sauna, your steam room. This has everything. It's got
such nice features to it.
2 or 3 saunas.
A snow room, a dark steam room, a light steam room, a hot sauna, a light sauna,
a Turkish bath,
Mediterranean baths, different types of hot tubs, which a lot of them don't have at all.
Totally different hot tubs.
And then it also had different shower features, which were very interesting as well. So
the shower that goes from cold to hot to cold to hot.
Yeah, it had everything you would want.
Everything. And the staff there was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Now, again, we don't typically do the massages and manicures and that kind of stuff, but a lot of people were lined up to get those. So I'm sure those are very good.
It looked fantastic. So as far as the barber services, the salon services, the therapeutic services, those types of things, top notch.
Yeah, absolutely. It knocked it out of the park with their spa and thermal spa area. Okay, and then next we usually talk about the loyalty program.
Yeah. If you watch some of our earlier discussions on MSC, we kind of say that their loyalty program is maybe average or maybe even a little below average. I think we're starting to change a little bit now. We got a lot of nice features based on where we are on our loyalty status with them.
Yeah, there's no question that they are changing their loyalty program. As they do that, it gets better and better. They are trying to break into the American market quite a bit, and I think maybe that's why they're putting in such effort. But a couple of things to make note of. They will match status, your loyalty status from other cruise ships. So because we are Diamond on Royal Caribbean, they have matched that. And so we are now Diamond on MSC. And initially that really didn't get much, but this time it was much, much better. Of course we got the robes and the slippers in the room.
We got the champagne and the
champagne and macarons,
one night, and then also we got the steakhouse one night.
And they give us a free specialty dinner, and that's more than almost all other cruise ships do. Or cruise lines. I will give them a big thumbs up on their huge push to improve their loyalty program, and I think it is now one of the better ones.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
I totally agree.
Yep. Okay, so now that we know the loyalty program is important, let's get to the staff, because that also is very important. When you are cruising, you want to make sure you have a staff that is attentive. And we've said this all along in all of our reviews with MSC, their staff does a great job.
They do a fantastic job.
Yep.
And they did it again on this cruise.
They did.
So we have nothing but positive experiences with staff. So we're not on the ship for more than 1 hour. We got to this ship late to this one. So I don't think we got onto the ship until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it was very late. So we go straight to our cabin, and the cabin attendant called us out by name as we were walking into the cabin.
We met her in the hallway. We said, we're
Mom
in
Heather
room
and
number.
Mom Paul, or Sir Paul and Mom Heather.
Yeah,
and
we're in room number
how did you know that?
1127 or whatever it was. She immediately knew our names. We only told her our room number. It was pretty impressive. We weren't even in our room yet. Yeah,
she was fantastic. The entire cruise, she was fantastic. The bartenders were fantastic.
Yep.
The staff is just our dining attendants. We talked about that a little bit earlier.
Yep.
In the main dining hall, they were absolutely fantastic.
Yep. Absolutely.
The boat was well taken care of from a
Clean.
maintenance standpoint.
Yep.
Clean. The experience with the staff was very good.
Very good. So high marks for them on staff. And then our last category are the other passengers. And again, like we said, this wasn't exactly a normal MSC cruise. So I guess we'll talk about, we have been on 3 other ones. Normally, as we've said, it is a mix of about 50-50 United States or Americans, and then 50% Europeans and the rest of the world. That is pretty typical for MSC. This one was 90+% Chinese. It was very, very different.
The other 10% was internationally mixed.
So just to be clear, I know we're mentioning that the other 90% were Chinese. We're not saying that in a negative way, but you really should check out our video because it was very interesting and rather shocking.
And we had to adapt to it. We did adapt to it. At the end of the day, we enjoyed this cruise.
We had a great time.
As much as we've enjoyed any cruise at all. And
maybe important to say at the end of this one is this was the 4th of 4 in a row. And we sat there at a bar that night and we said the last night, okay, of all the 4, if you had to pick one to do again, which one would you do? And what did we both say?
This one.
We did.
This one.
And it still kind of shocks me.
I'd still do all 4 again if I had the chance.
We would do all 4. It still kind of shocks me that we did both say that.
Yeah. 2 things I do want to cover, though, as well, kind of our experiences. So we did get the drink package. And I think on the MSC, I think it's important if you drink a couple glasses of wine during dinner, if you have something during the afternoon, if you have a happy hour drink and then maybe a later evening drink, you really should get the drink package.
Right.
I think it's important to get that because some of the drinks can be small.
Right.
So I think the best value, if you, like I said, if you drink even just average during a day, I think
average for a cruise ship.
For a cruise, well, yeah. I think you should really consider getting the drink package.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's not very expensive, and they are a little light on their pours. So,
and then as we mentioned too, we did get the upgrade. We did purchase the thermal spa, so we had access to the thermal spa the entire cruise. And if you things go on sale, so if you have booked 4 months or maybe 5 months in advance. Wait till those go on sale, and you can get those at a significant discount. You can get the drink package at a significant discount. You can get the thermal package at a significant package. And sometimes the other cruise lines won't discount the thermal package at all.
And they do. So keep your eye open for that.
So give it some time if you have time. Give it some time. We thought the thermal spa was way worth the money that we spent.
Oh my gosh.
And also the drink package we thought was a tremendous value.
Double. For that thermal spa, I would pay double. Don't tell them that, but I would pay double.
Yeah.
So
those go on. So I just wanted to highlight that.
Right. Yeah. So that is what we think of the MSC Meraviglia. Obviously, if you look at the background, we are back in our RV.
Yeah.
So
we're in North Cascade National Park, which is just stunningly beautiful.
Absolutely
it's late fall, middle fall for us right now.
So for those of you who don't know, Paul and I do travel full time. We do about a third of the time on cruise ships, a third of the time in our RV, and then a third of the time traveling around the world. So if retirement travel does interest you, I do invite you to subscribe. And also we have a free PDF handout. I will put a link to this below. It is called the Top 10 retirement travel tips. Just click it and it'll come straight to your inbox. So we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you for joining us on the Freedom Strategy. And for the next little stretch, we will be in our RV. And then we're jumping on another few cruises. How many more do we have?
We have
this year?
4. No, 1, 2. We have 3 more. No, we have 4.
No, we have 4 more cruises before
November
the end
and December.
of the year.
We have 4 cruises, and then we start our global
around the world
reverse
flight.
around the world flight.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that.